Hello there guys and welcome to our newest video. Hope you're having an awesome day, and since you're watching this, I really hope it makes it better. Talk to me in the comments, let's chat, because today we are flipping the script. Now, way back I had my series of forbidden lightsaber moves that the Jedi Order frowned upon or forbade in some cases, simply because they resembled a lot like Sith moves and tactics. However, today we have something completely different. A lightsaber move that the Sith outright hated and didn't even bother using it, and that the Jedi in fact went on to accept it whenever it was absolutely necessary. This move is called Cho Mai, and for those Jedi Masters and Knights who were familiar with advanced lightsaber combat, they knew that this was a technique or an act of cutting off your opponent's arm, more specifically the weapon arm, whether they be holding a blaster or a lightsaber. Yep, believe it or not, there is a lightsaber move that the Sith dislike, and now I will try my best to tell you everything you need to know about this move and why exactly the Sith, I would imagine, refrain from even teaching it to their apprentices. As we mentioned before, Cho Mai was a precision technique, as it of course demonstrated the skill of a swordsman. However, what is weird about it, and it was an open secret, that it was actually considered honorable among Lightsiders simply because it allowed for a victory by causing minimal physical damage to your opponent, by literally disarming your opponent and again causing minimal damage, which was obviously the Jedi way of fighting and doing things. It actually saved them from barbarically killing their opponent and giving in to any dark emotion. On the other hand, the Darksiders considered this lightsaber move as being too merciful. Obviously, they preferred tenacity, absolutely destroying your opponent, and as such, the Sith preferred to kill their opponents rather than just disarm them. In lightsaber combat, Cho Mai was often performed by simply driving the opponent's blade aside and then cutting his wrist straight up. There were, of course, other methods as well, which was altering the angle of the blade or sliding the weapon inside of an opponent's guard during a blade lock to cut off their hand, but an even more vicious method consisted of grabbing the opponent's wrist outright, holding it in place, and then cutting it off. Now, for the smart duelist, it was a simple matter of timing. Executing Cho Mai was often a question of recognizing an opening and exploiting it, attacking when the opponent left their weapon hand vulnerable. This is exactly why the Jedi commonly use this move against blaster-wielding opponents. Now we get to the most awesome part, naming those swordsmen who actually use this move. Well, at least some of them, since the list is way too long. In episode 2, we see this move twice. Once where Obi-Wan sliced the weapon hand of Zam Wesell inside the Outlander Club, and the second time is when Dooku used this move to slice the right hand of Anakin and force pushes him back. During the Battle of Utapau, Obi-Wan used Cho Mai twice against General Grievous. At the end of the duel between Anakin and Dooku inside the invisible hand, Anakin applied Cho Mai on Dooku. Scratch that, more than just Cho Mai. He actually sliced both of his hands. In that same film, Anakin Skywalker again used Cho Mai on Mace Windu, only briefly, as he saw an opportunity right then and there to prevent the death of his soon-to-be master. Decades later, as Darth Vader, he went on to sever the right hand of his son Luke Skywalker during their duel at Cloud City. However, Luke, 1 year later, returned the favor during the rematch with Darth Vader aboard the second Death Star. Here's a cool question for you guys. What other instances of Cho Mai do you guys remember from the TV series or the comics that we didn't cover here? Or at least any other thought that you might have, feel free to talk with us down below, and I do hope you enjoyed this video and this topic. It was really interesting to share this with you guys. Some of you might remember my Forbidden series, and that mostly covered the Jedi Order and their restrictive nature. But with this one, the Sith just absolutely saw this move as a moment of weakness, that you either didn't or couldn't bring yourself to kill your opponent. But it's kinda true if you think about it. Vader intentionally used this move in order to not kill his son Luke and try to persuade him in joining in his ultimate agenda. With that said, thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching this video. Hope you have an awesome day, my friends, and may the Force be with you always.